Happy 11/11. This censorship thing, it's been happening long before coronavirus, specifically to me. It started on Facebook, I guess in 2017 when I was going to nutrition school, and I decided, I'm a single mom. I really want to launch my business globally, thinking I would use Facebook to do so. But in opening up a store on Facebook, they started blocking my products, simple things like deodorants, because I would talk about some of the harmful ingredients, and I guess the way that I was using words or sources, some of the sources I would use were already censored, like David Avocado Wolf and many others. So yeah, I think that maybe some of the tags I was using, something happened where they would take off my products, tell me that I couldn't sell them. So, I was a little disappointed on Facebook, but for a while I still kept using it. It's where everybody was. But then when coronavirus hit, they really started censoring me. They would talk about deleting my accounts, different things like that. But so I did end up getting rid of my business page. I think Instagram started a new one, but there's nobody on it. Weird things happen. It still shows that I have warnings on Facebook, but I'm really not on there. I don't spend much time at all there at all. But I do find that Instagram was something I was drawn to. So this is where I show up. This is where I'd like to show up. This was my wish today, is just be able to show up for you guys. Because also for myself, I made this commitment to be here on Sundays now, so I really want to prove to myself that I can do it, that I can stay consistent as well. But also, I really want to share these messages, not just about the censorship and my story there. There's some other stuff I'll get into today too, but I do want to talk about this because it is fresh. This did just happen again this week, where I posted here on Instagram. And again, this has happened a few times since the lockdown, that I've had different posts taken down or been censored in some way, had features removed, had different hashtags. I have my team send me pictures almost daily of different hashtags that get taken down around psilocybin, about opiate crisis, about just these random things. That really... It would be nice if these were conversations, this is why I like to show up, because I feel like these conversations are meant to be had, and if I'm the conversation starter, awesome, even if people don't like me for it, again, that happened this week too, there are haters out there, people who don't like what I'm doing, that's okay. I'm really okay with it. If I'm doing magnetic marketing, that means that I'm doing my job. As a magnet, that means, that I'm going to attract some people, but I'm also going to repel other people. I'm okay with that. So, okay with the haters out there. It's okay. I still love you, regardless whether or not you like me or not. I still want you to eat, even if it's not at my table, as Tupac would say. But yeah, there's this other thing that's happening now where, once I start, getting a lot of feedback on a post, it gets taken down, like what had just happened this week. And then they also talked about deleting my Instagram account, and they had some features taken away. So it was kind of disappointing, but at the same time, I was like, okay, this is a good thing. It means that I'm getting, that I'm making more of an impact, that people are talking about these things. It doesn't matter whether or not they took down a post that was starting this conversation. It's about the fact that the conversation was started, and that somewhere there's either someone on the other end of a computer or an algorithm or something where they're saying, okay, this is dangerous. And do you know what? I would like to be thought of as dangerous to the dominator culture. I don't know that I am. I don't necessarily see myself as a badass in that way. But, in the spiritual world, I definitely have slayed my demons. And, if we're here talking about psychedelics, like stepping into the Alice in Wonderland type of reference here, there comes that time when you're slaying the Jabberwocky. It's like you don't always know what your role is until you take it on and take responsibility for it and show up. There becomes a remembering that happens with psychedelics, and, that brings me to, I guess, kind of why I'm here this week. Is I took this job on a homestead. It's a friend of mine, and it's a beautiful spot. I love coming here so often. I just get in my car and go with Finn. I grew up in the country, so it's it's that place where I feel most grounded. It's that place where I feel that that I'm connected, that I'm safe, that I'm protected. It's that spot where I tune into my parasympathetic nervous system instead of being in the fight or flight mode. However, as lucky as I've been in my life, yeah, sure, I had my traumas, but Mama Nature's brought me through so much of it. You can read about that in my book, Be the Change, where I walk you through a year transformation the same way that I did, just tuning into Mama Nature's cycles, and it's a beautiful thing. However, I went from homesteading into moving into the city, and I'm grateful that I moved to the city when I did, because it was pre-COVID. It also gave me an opportunity to really hone in. If I was outside, I would be distracted with all these things to do, but I was able to really go inside when I moved to the city, and I was able to really hone in on my schooling, on creating this business, stuff that I probably wouldn't have made time for otherwise. So there were some blessings in there, but it was also a blessing into seeing what it's like. Is seeing that it is harder when you're living in a city environment to live this kind of lifestyle, so connected to nature. And when we're thinking about this censorship and stuff too, it's very much the same. It's like, no matter what, I'm still gonna show up. We have backups of everything. When the censorship started, when they wouldn't let me download my lives, or they would cut off lives that I was doing, one of my team members, Tristan, he started recording the calls, so we would have backup. So if we weren't able to download from Instagram, we still had it to share with the people that we were collaborating with. And we're doing the same thing now. We have backups for our social media accounts. There's, Elemental Growth is rising up as, even if this account gets censored, we've got other team members that go by Elemental Growth alias names that are, still able to connect. And, one of our team members said today, if they don't let you go live, we'll just go live from my account and you can join in. It's like, it's beautiful that, I don't even have to do all this work on my own anymore. There's just people there to come up with wonderful ideas and amazing people there to help out in these ways. And we do have other backup accounts too, ones that are more private. Our inner circle, that's on Signal, the most private you can get. It's like a great alternative to WhatsApp. It's free. It's global. It's the best for sending videos. There's an alternative to YouTube too, which we use as Library. We still use YouTube because we haven't had any issues on there, but I guess like any of the problems that we've ever had on YouTube so far, which I do like YouTube, but I do get nervous that all like Google might be, might be very much malware and just, taking data, storing data for whatever, the machine apocalypse or something. I don't know. That's maybe a little too far out there because I don't really know what's going on. But, if they are saving data, which I'm sure that they are, I don't really want to be a part of that system. But so far there hasn't been any censorship or anything. And it's a great tool. It's one that we still use for sharing audiobooks. And what's great about Library is that whenever we share something on YouTube, it automatically backs it up and gives us our own private website. So if anything's ever taken down from YouTube, it's already there on its own site, and it's all downloaded. It's so much easier for me to do these things and to hone in and master these things. Yeah, there was a lot that I knew, but do I have it all memorized? No, I still look back at my notes. My goal, though, I love Dr. Dennis McKenna so much, and I mean, he studied these things, but he knows a lot of names to just about every plant out there, and so, necessarily expect to be at his level, nor is that where I want to put all my time and energy, because there are so many things I'm interested in, and my job, my duty here is the integration part. But I am so interested in that, and I really find it admirable what he's done. So this is my way of doing it my way. My way of doing it my way. You like that? As authentic as it gets, right? So I sit there and I take it in and I challenge myself. What is it that I already know? What is it that I don't know? How can I optimize this in some way? My process. And so, I find that just so stimulating, that no matter what walk, it's like, I don't need the radio, I don't need the TV, I don't need anything. It's that what I need is just to open my eyes, see what's around me. And to me, that's stimulating enough. To me, because I know the names of these things, and because I see them all as different species, because I see that there's different bugs attracted to different ones. I see that, some are really, really deep roots, some are shallow. I see how everything grows and is interconnected together. And so to me, that's stimulating enough. To me, that's all I need. I know that this is where alignment is for me. Now it's just, I think I still get scared of giving up the freedom to travel a little bit because of the coronavirus stuff. It's like, I feel like if the dominator culture, or if, this kind of stuff is really what I think it is, I feel that this is a time of women empowerment, and most of the women that I know have been drawn to books around World War II in this time, and to some other omens too, like Pink Floyd, The Wall, like things like that. And so there's almost like a remembering of history, and a need to understand it in a new way, and to see the reflection of how patterns repeat themselves. There's been an awakening in people wanting to do ancestral work. And so I feel in all of that, if this is a dominator culture thing, that if it is, a new pattern in the history books, history repeating itself in a new way with new psychology tricks, such as fear-mongering and propaganda, just at a new level, a dark psychology level, that, I don't want anybody to know exactly where I am. And I feel that if I, stayed put somewhere, anywhere, or if I signed my name on a mortgage at this time, that would, somebody would know where I am. And that is a fear that I think that I'm working through right now, especially, the censorship, like, none of that scares me. It's like, I got backups, I have my inner circle, I've got you guys, you know how to contact me, and you do contact me, most of you, I'm talking to you on a regular basis, so, none of that scares me. But what does scare me is that, if there are witch hunts, if there is, if, the vaccinated start wearing stars, that I don't want anybody to know where it is that I am. And so I think that's what keeps me from being in full alignment. I hope that I can move through that, but for now, I like my life. I'm grateful for all I have. I'm grateful that I can be vulnerable with you guys, and I know that in sharing this, it gets it out so that more good can flow. That's what I teach you guys anyway, is that if you are, if you're scared of something, let it out, talk about it, write it down, because it's almost like an emotional colonic. Once you get it out, you can start filling that space up with good again. All right, you guys? I'm going to let you go for now. We have coaching circles starting, I think, in about 15 minutes, or no, about, 40 minutes or so. So you guys can, message me, get the link in for that if you don't already have it. And then we have our mastermind at 6 p.m. too. So you guys can connect. You can learn how to learn while you earn with Elemental Growth, okay? Just if you're interested, if this is something that you're into, then check it out, okay? I love you guys. Bye for now.